We got me coming out of retirement to make these freaking videos just to point out that like things are never changing. Even though they're saying things may change, the stupidity of Twitter or X is never going to change. It won't. Man, what a take. Let's read it. Let's just I'm not going to make this too long. Let's just read it. He basically says, I need to find like the origin of where the hell this starts. So, yeah, because of Austin Dillon winning at Richmond, which again, I heard he won straight up, so good for him. He won a legit race. It took him 11 years, but hey, he did it. Most people can't win a race legitimately or win a race in general. So that is an accomplishment, and that should be praised. But what's unfortunate is any type of underdog win gets completely ruined because it has to be playoff implications, or someone 34th to 25th in points or lower or whatever wins, takes up a spot from an actual person that's been running good. And wins override everything so much to such a comical degree that it's just stupid. How many times do we have to go through this every year? We've had this discussion at least 4 or 5 times a year since 2014 in varying degrees. I don't want to go through the laundry list of people that got wins that were outside top 16 in points because it's just too goddamn long. And I'm not going to sit here and go through the timetable, but we've had at least like 20 plus instances of this. It's just ridiculous. So it's just another case of it. And once again, what is Austin Dillon supposed to do? Like not win? Like So and again, I'm happy for him. As stupid and dumb and just asshole he was last year, he won it straight up, and I can't fault him for that. So good for him. But he shouldn't be in the playoffs because of it. And this tweet is basically, or the thread of this starts. Mamba Smith, we're going back to him. He's the pantheon of stupid takes, or just he's almost trying to out dumb Kenny Wallace, which is really funny in that regard because Kenny Wallace does this almost like every day. So Mamba Smith isn't doing stupid takes every day, but his attitude towards Elite Precision was kind of needlessly snarky, and Elite Precision is one of the most chill, laid back guys ever. So that's kind of annoying. I still remember that. But yeah, he just said the only thing he would adjust in the playoffs is making the one race in round 1 in a 3-race championship. I mean, it's a start, but why can't we just have a full season? Why can't we just have last 10 races be the fucking championship battle? That would make things a lot easier. Except in this scenario, driver clinching championship 2+ races early happened only twice from 1975 to 2003. Richard Petty 1975 and Dale Earnhardt 1987. Please do your research better. And that's true. I guess there's the argument of a person win the championship 2 races early, which statistically has not, as this person said, has only happened twice, and doesn't happen as much as people think. But he says if we pull up the last race and all someone has to do is finish 15th or better no matter what anyone else does, that's not good. And this goes into another thing I think Mark Martin was talking about, because I see it on my feed, that it was, I don't know what the actual full context was, but Mark Martin was saying like it's okay to basically appreciate a good points day, because just because a person finishes 15th, that's fine, because not everyone that goes into a race wins. How many times did Jeff Gordon win a race in his career? And how many starts? 800 plus starts. He only won 93 of them. So more often than not, 95% of the time, you're racing to do the best you can. You're not going to win. Even Richard Petty in his 1,100 starts only won 200 times. So there was 900 other races where he didn't win and had to salvage the best day he could have. In a hypothetical, in a sense. So the narrative of like 15th is bad, but if 15th is all you can do, then that's fine enough. Does that mean running 15th the whole season means you deserve to win a championship? it depends. But if someone has to finish 15th in the last race, sometimes that's all a person can actually muster. It depends. But this conversation doesn't go completely off the rails until he says the point isn't to crown the best driver. It's to crown the best team who executed the best when the pressure was at its highest and the lights were the brightest. What is this, like, flowery type of dialogue he's trying to fucking spin on this format? What an absolute disaster of a fucking post. Good lord. The point isn't to crown the best driver. That is, in this format, that probably is accurate, but that's not how it should be. But that is, I don't know if that's like the worst take I've ever heard, but it's the worst one I've seen as of late. That's almost as bad as freaking Larry Mack and Daniel Trotta making fun of Mark Martin for not winning a championship. But Larry Mack hasn't won a championship either, so why is he? That was stupid. That was absolutely stupid. Because like Mark Martin his opinion doesn't matter because he didn't win a championship. But isn't that kind of the point, that Mark Martin hasn't won a championship, but he's advocating for a format that actually denied him of a championship? Wouldn't that make his point even stronger, that he wants a format like that? So that whole Discord was stupid. I probably should have made a video on that, but I just didn't, because that whole thing was stupid back then. And this is just absolutely just awful. And the phrasing of the post is, he's talking more about like the Owners' Championship than anything. But yeah, but that's kind of a sad state that we're in now. That they're just sitting here saying like, well, and he's basically admitting that the champions that we have aren't really the best. Pretty much. That's basically kind of what this post is doing. So it just makes them look even worse. And that's kind of the thing of making so many posts on Twitter, is eventually, even if you're pretty good at being knowledgeable, you're gonna come across, you're gonna flub up. You're gonna say something stupid or have a take that you just have absolutely no information on, and or really knowledge on, or you're just gonna say something stupid. In every 100 posts, you're gonna have some stupid post at some point, and this is probably the biggest blunder I've seen, because good lord. And once again, this is why I say, at this point, don't just blindly follow the higher ups in NASCAR and just believe what they say and be spoon-fed. Maybe spoon-fed's not the best word, but just be fed this nonsense. Like, think for yourself. At this point, other content creators that talk about NASCAR way more than me probably have way better of an insight on all this stuff. It just feels like it's turning to like some kind of political bullshit with statements like this. It's exhausting. I wish I can get more mad, but it's just like, what do I say? It's just like, we go through this every year. Someone wins a race that doesn't deserve to be in there. Like SVG has won how many races, and he's how far back in points, and he just leapfrogs like 10, 15 plus people. Like, it's stupid. Like, wins just can't be underdog wins are just ruined in this era, because we always have to factor in the fucking playoffs, them taking up a spot that they don't deserve. It's happened so many times. It's so groan worthy, and it just sours everything. Like, we can't just appreciate the fact that Austin Dillon just had one really good night, and and even then, that's a story. People saying there's no, without the playoffs, there's no story. It's like, well, how does the sport survive 40 years? God, 50 years without a fucking playoff? How did the sport survive? Playoffs, we didn't have storylines until 2004. Like, 2003 on back, we had no storylines ever. Like, that's a stupid fucking take, too. So, that's like a whole other thing as well. It's just mind-boggling, the shit that gets said, that gets perpetuated, and I don't know, but it's just it's always kind of fun to dunk on Mama Smith too with that stuff. because when you freaking start having a sassy attitude towards Elite Precision, then it's fucking personal now, because that was so snarky of a comment back then. I wish I had the freaking post to show it, but I remember talking about it last year. But yeah, I don't know what more really to say. I mean, he basically outed the format as not being legit. It doesn't reward the best. I mean, I don't even have to say it. He's basically said it for me. And I think that's a huge problem. Will they actually change it? I heard they're changing the final race from Phoenix to Homestead, which is, hey, Homestead's a better track, but one race shouldn't determine a championship to that extent, where you force that, trying to make it authentic by forcing it instead of letting it happen organically is so boring and tiring. And it's just, as I've said before, the extraordinary moments have now become the ordinary, and nothing really feels organic. It just feels like we're forcing these moments to happen. We're trying to force a magical moment to happen. It's just exhausting, because it rarely. It's just annoying. It's so tiring. But this take was so bad, I had to make a video. I don't know why. It just felt right. But boy howdy, was that just. I mean, to admit this. To admit this just bluntly is so takes a lot of balls. I'll give him that. So, hey, he'll probably stand by it too. So hey, more power to him. I like this first comment too from Green Flag Studios. Oh, it's from Irishman. Oh my god, I know him. Yeah, Mamba. The point is to crown the best driver. Yes, NASCAR is a team sport, but its main and single biggest draw has always been the drivers. And there's been a big superstar problem as of late. NASCAR is so scared of domination that they're putting their hands in every scale to temper it. Over time, next gen parity, resetting the points. It's all artificial. We need natural tension, natural drama. All this is just theatrics. Man, what a fucking take, man. Green Flags Irishman just posted an absolute bombshell. Look at this. He's got more freaking likes than Mamba's post itself. Like, that's an actual ratio. Hey, more power to him. I mean, that was a banger freaking post. Proud of him. But yeah, it's correct. How many times do they reset the points? Whatever points you gain, it gets reset. What we do at the end of race 26, we do after the round of 12, then the round of 8, and then we round of 4. So we basically reset the points 4 different times. It's absurd. It's just so typical. I don't know. Not that I expect anything to change. People are going to be saying in the comments, "Oh, but it's never changing." It's like, well, yeah. Why you trying to sell me on that? It's like, well, I'm not expecting that. But it's fun to dunk on it. It's fun to point it out. I mean, that's I could content farm this for the rest of my life. Because it's just every year we have someone doing a stupid take, or someone that's in a credible position saying something ridiculous. It's always going to happen. It's just the cycle of life. But hey, I didn't even need to make this video. He like I said, he basically said it for me. He basically admitted that these champions aren't really the best. I mean, hey, it's been correct since 2021. Ever since we've had this modern point format since 2017, the only ones that have been like where they've been the best all year round, statistically speaking, has been Truex, Kyle Busch in 19, and Larson in 21. So you've had 3 in the last 8 years. That's still an under 50% ratio, and that's, in my school, that's a failing grade. Even the OG Chase format from 2004 to 2013, I think 5 out of those 10 were the best all year. 2000, where basically what I'm saying is the person that won a championship in real life basically had the best point season all year round. And that was 2005 with Tony Stewart, 2006 with Jimmy Johnson, 2009 with Jimmy Johnson as well, 2012 Brad Keselowski was going to win it regardless, and 2013 with Jimmy. I had to freaking edit all that because I had to think about it, because it's getting too far back my pea brain to remember it immediately. Maybe I'm getting too old for this. I don't know. But yeah, 5 out of 10, that's still a failing grade. Unless, in your school 50% is a passing grade, then maybe it's okay. But not in my school, 70 on up was a passing. So still a failing grades, but not as, for not failing as spectacularly compared. Again, we're at 50% compared to like the 30% accuracy. We're just each year it's just lower and lower. So even the OG chase thing, it's still 50%. And when a champion is crowned, I like for it to be 100% authentic, which the Winston Cup format usually more often than not rewards that. Usually the best average finish usually wins the championship. I know there's like in the 30 years the 28 years they use that format, you can maybe use 3 examples of that not being accurate. But what is the percentage of that? I can bet you Sweet Bippy it's more than 50%, so that's already a better percentage ratio. But I don't know. I mean, it's just the same old shit. So thank you, Mamba Smith, for a glorious post. It made me want to make a video, so that's impressive. So am I coming out of retirement? Is NASCAR 25 really just making me come out of retirement for that? I don't know, but hey, this was a good post. I have not made any type of NASCAR related post like Twitter related like all year, and I probably should have made one for the Mark Martin one because that was so insulting and disrespectful to Mark Martin for like what Larry Mack and Daniel Trada did, because that was disgusting. And Larry Mack I usually kind of like respect, but when it comes to his modern takes on NASCAR stuff, it does feel either completely delusional or just very shilly, and it's unfortunate. Why do we watch all of the good people turn into villains? Like, he lived long enough to become the villain. Maybe I don't know. It's just depressing. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm thinking too much about it. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Anyways, I'm done. Bye.